The unknown is the thing where all the genius and our purpose takes place. Hello, I'm Dr. Zaino with 15-Minute Fuel. We're just in 15 minutes a day. We're going to fuel your mind, your body, and your future. When we're waiting for everybody to get on, I just want to once again do the announcements. Thank you so much every time. Thank you so much for all the shares, all the likes, and all the love. You have made an impact in thousands of people's lives. Make sure you go onto my Facebook page, either Chris Zaino, or you check out @Dr. Zaino, and we have released the trailer today. You're going to see the trailer within 1 week. March 6th, we'll be releasing our brand new video show for you guys. It's all for you. It's going to be an amazing journey, and I want you to go on the journey with us today. And so make sure you check that. So if you're here, just say hello. I saw George is on. Hey, Sean, good to see you guys. Thank you so much for watching and sharing, and let's have an amazing show. This show today is going to be huge because what I'm going to talk about is pretty much, and over my journey, what I'm going through now, is the real reason why we don't move towards our purpose. We don't move towards the life that I feel God has really pulled you and called you to do. And once you understand this on more of a mental level, then you'll realize, holy cow, I could not only move forward, but I can enjoy the journey. And we're documenting this. So what you see, you're looking at real time. I'm actually going to document the whole journey to the act 3, to living at your hero. And that's why our show is called We Are Heroes. So make sure you'll chime in. But the first thing you have to do, you have to subscribe to our YouTube page. Everything's Dr. Zaino. Snapchat, Instagram, Dr. Zaino, Facebook, @Dr. Zaino. And you'll be able to get all the updates on just the trailers that you'll be seeing and also the amazing shows that will be provided for you guys. It's a totally transparent, in-depth look at my life, not just the office. Because remember, in your life, your job doesn't define you at all. A lot of times you say, who are you? I'm a chiropractor. I'm a lawyer. I'm a teacher. See, your job doesn't define you. Your value comes from your entire life. So ladies out there, you're just not a mom. You're just not a wife. See, your entire life, your value comes from your entire life. It's everything. So We Are Heroes will be an in-depth look at my life and my family's life. You'll see me at work, at home with the kids, and then really meeting with my thought leaders to pursuing the goal of allowing people to embrace the hero inside them and not be ashamed of it and going all in for what they were created to do. So today, just say any questions you have. Remember, if this is not live, it's okay. Still watch it. I'll still answer all your comments. I answer every single comment below. Now, let's today talk about this right here. What happens when you have that call? What happens when you have that little, all of you, you're sitting at your job and then there's something inside you that wants more. We know it's there. What is that more? Well, I would love to do this. I would love to do that. But the thing is, why don't we move forward? Because we have fear. And what's the fear? The fear is all the things that may go wrong. The unknown stuff, right? The unknown is what holds us back. Because for us to make that next jump, we would love to have a perfect plan, right? I want to know the exact steps. I want to know when to make a left, when to make a right, when to invest, when to not invest. You want to have it all entirely laid out. You want to have your goal and have the perfect steps to get there. I do. Because that's certainty. We want to have certainty that we're going to win. So we have this idea, we have this dream, but then we say, well, I have all these foggy parts that I can't explain. I'm unclear on. My goals aren't very clear. You ever have an unclear goal? I do, right? But I have a vision. But I have unclear goals. And because they're unclear and I don't have specific steps, I'm going to quit before I even get started. So the fear of the unknown is what holds us back. The unknown for whatever that may be. So instead of going after your purpose, your calling, the unknown holds us back. So right now, the unknown, I don't know how we're going to get there. I know that, but watch this. My entire life and in your entire life, the one thing that we could guarantee in moving forward towards your purpose, the one thing I could tell you for sure is going to happen 100% is the unknown. Follow me there. The one thing you could absolutely guarantee on is the unknown as you go on your purpose and your journey. So we need to embrace that because guess what? The unknown situations is where the gold is at. The unknown is where the genius is there. The unknown is where your opportunities arise. The unknown is the relationships you're going to meet. So when you look back, you'll be able to look at your life going, all these unknown factors, because I took the leap of faith to go after my purpose. All these unknown factors, which people call luck, they're not luck. See, unknown is not luck. Luck is not luck. It is part of the process. But the thing is, we feel that the unknown, the things we can't see, is luck or uncertainty. But when we realize it's part of the journey, it's part of the process, and the unknowns is what we want to embrace and look for, because that's what creates the most amazing story. And the unknowns are what going to put you at your purpose, but I guarantee it's going to be bigger and greater than you ever could imagine. T.D. Jakes said it best. He goes, if I understood the ministry I would have today, the weight of this ministry, I wouldn't even get started. So a lot of times the purpose that's been put in your life, that calling in your life, it might be so big and so huge and so amazing. If you knew how big it would be, you probably wouldn't even get started. So that's why the unknown is beautiful. To go over the unknowns, let me explain. How about my unknown? I got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. That was a very big unknown in my life. It sucked during that time. It was an unknown. So my wife and I had to go through the whole unknown factor of trying to get well. And we didn't know what was going to happen. During the time, it was horrible. It was painful. It was depressing. We didn't know where God was going to take us with this. But that unknown, looking back now, that unknown factor catapulted me on my journey to be where I am right now talking to you. Do you understand? Like, I wouldn't be talking to you right now on multiple levels. I could have been dead. I could have been unhealthy. I could have been sick. I wouldn't have went to chiropractic school. So do you understand the unknowns in our journey are where the genius is at? The unknowns are where the greatest opportunity is. The unknowns are what is going to create the fantasy story that when you look back and tell it, it literally has the handprint of God the whole entire way. So this is where you have to move forward. So don't stay where you're at, because if you stay secure, if you stay certain, you'll never experience the unknowns. The unknowns are the relationships that you meet. Whitney, I met, my college lost their accreditation. I talked about this yesterday. I had to move to an entirely different state that I never believed I would ever step foot in. I'm a New Yorker. And it's not that we don't like Texans, but we're sure as heck not going to be found in Texas. All right? Florida, maybe. That's where New Yorkers go to die, is Florida. But we sure as heck ain't going to Texas. So I go to Texas. I go to Dallas. And there my wife, she's a trainer at the gym I'm training at. And then I meet her. And that's my wife. Now, 13 years later, she's my wife. We helped start the business together. And she's, we have Justice and Titus. Just look at the unknowns that happen in your life. So again, remember, the most known thing, the guarantee in your life, is the unknown thing in the future. But it's the unknowns. It's not the things we know about. It's the things we don't know about yet, where the genius is at, where God's fingerprint is at, where the opportunities are right at. And also, for those of you who feel that you don't have clear goals, and I get it, I'm there, write this statement down. Your vision is way more important than your goals. I'll say it again. Your vision is way more important than your goals. Because let's say I achieve a goal, that's great. But sometimes on your journey, those goals change. Right? Maybe you have a goal to do this, but along the journey, you meet someone, or you have a different opportunity, or you go. For me, I remember I spoke at one place, and because I spoke at this place, it opened up the door to literally, this whole church movement that happened that I got to speak at. So these little things open up the doors. So sometimes you have goals, but you got to be willing to change your mind on your goals for even bigger ones. I was watching an interview of a guy who wound up, he's young, he's in his 30s, he wound up buying a mountain in Utah to set up a small town for entrepreneurs. Now, that's the punchline. You get me? That's the punchline. But when he went back and showed you the journey, it's something he never would imagine. Like, no one puts on their goals, I'm going to buy a mountain, right? But during the journey of going after his purpose, meeting different people, that whole journey and opportunities, in those unknown opportunities, he met a mentor. He's like, hey, listen, you should buy a city. He's like, really? Yeah, there's a mountain over here. And then, so that's how it happens. So in our lives, when we look back, even in your life, you're going to see all the unknowns. But I'm telling you right now, if you're living in fear of the unknown, you're missing out on the greatest opportunity, the greatest story, the greatest genius, and the greatest path to your purpose. So that's where the unknowns come into play. Embrace the unknown. That's the guarantee thing. I can guarantee you it's always going to be the unknown. But there's a couple prerequisites on that. Before you make your journey, here I'm 40, and I can tell you probably in the last 3 years, you have to become extremely self-aware, meaning this. Know what you're good at, what you love to do. That's why I say, what do you do? Well, I work here. No. That's not what you do. What do you do? And what do you do is your gifts. What is your gifting? What is your talent? What is your superpower? So for me, it's going to be speaking. I love video. I love media. That's my speaking. Influencing people. That's my drive. So all the other weaknesses I have in my life, I'm not going to try to get stronger in those weaknesses. I'm 40 years old. If I would have been strong at them, I would have been strong at them already. So I embrace my strengths. I hire a team, or I delegate out my weaknesses, or I don't focus on my weaknesses, because you have very few weaknesses and a ton of strengths, right? So don't worry about the couple weaknesses. Focus on the things you're strong at, but know and embrace what you're strong at. So that means that when you know what you're good at, have a sense of pride and ego in that enough where you have enough self-confidence and self-esteem to say, hey, I'm going to now go out and go on what my heart was calling to do, because I know I'm at these good things, and I could count on myself, and people could count on me to make it happen in that realm. So if we were having a team right now, if you were building a team, I confidently could tell you, you're going to want to pick me for your team, because I know how I act, I know how I drive, and you're going to want me on your team. And I have confidence in that. It's not arrogance, but it's confidence that, you know what, if I'm on your team, if I have to carry the whole team, I will. But that's the type of person I am, because I have a sense of confidence and esteem of my personality, what I'm strong at of doing. So once you know your strengths, and everybody has strengths, that's a lie if you don't believe that. You're good at something. Once you know your strengths and you're self-aware of that, then move, go. So remember, I didn't know the end result of this hero thing, but I knew it was there. It was there so strong that every time I talk about it, I start to cry. I made it like one show without crying, and I'll probably do it by the end of the day anyway. But it was so strong, it was such a pull, but I told myself, I don't know the end result. I don't know, what is this going to look like? How am I going to get on the stages in front of thousands of people? I don't know, right? So I'm sat there in my I don't know frame, because all the unknowns. What I did know for sure is that as I move forward, the unknowns will lead me to where I needed to be. It's not a blind walk. I could do what I can, what I could see, but I'll have to just take one step forward. So I took the step forward. We started doing the Facebook Lives every single day. We take another step forward. We hired a videography team. Boom, now we're going to document the journey, because I know, remember, I have self-awareness and self-esteem and confidence enough to know that I know how it's going to turn out, meaning that I know me and my family and my wife, we're going to win, but we just don't know what it's going to look like. So I want you to go along that journey with me, because you get to see all the unknowns as it happens. You know, I called my speaking coach. It says, Roberto, you know, let's get back together. I need to develop a keynote on the hero, whatever that looks like. We don't even know what it looks like yet. So I'm doing what I can, right? So when I'm doing what I can, I'm bringing my thought leaders in, and then we're going to enjoy the ride. We're going to enjoy the journey, and it's exciting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be life. And so that's why Find Your Hero is by also embracing the unknown. It's the hero's journey. No hero, every story you ever seen, there was always that unknown factor, and the unknown was where the genius was, and the unknown is what took them to the level they wanted to do. So if you're liking this, please hit the thumbs up, hit the share button right there. Make sure you love it. Lots of hearts for some love, and let's answer some questions. Let me go over some questions right there. Let's see, Ashley Oshner, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Nick, for sharing. Tim, thank you for sharing. You know, need to hear this. You bet. My job does not define me. You bet, Christy. You know, your job does not define you. In fact, Christy works for me. And Christy's going to be part of it. And she looks great on camera, so don't let her tell you not. Michelle Dunn, good to see you. Rob Newen Schwander. That's right. We are heroes. Ashley, thanks for sharing. Letitia, what are your thoughts when you know the responsibility you're called for and it's so overwhelming? How do I stay faithful to God has given me the responsibility? So Letitia's saying she feels she has that calling and it's overwhelming, all right? Here's the thing, the overwhelming, if you allow that to overwhelm you, if you don't move, if you don't just take the first step, if you don't start moving in that direction, that overwhelmingness is going to start to turn into a grieving. And what you're doing is you're grieving your potential. Don't let yourself get to the point where you're grieving potential. But again, maybe you need to grieve your potential to draw a line in the sand and say, you know what, I don't know what tomorrow is going to look like or a month from now, but I got to do what I was called to do, and then you move forward. And when you move forward, those unknowns will start to come into your life, and just, it's part of the process. But the worst thing to do is to fear and shrink back and say, you know what, I'm just going to be happy with what I'm doing now, and maybe that was good for somebody else, but not for me. See, if you have that, the fact that you even wrote this right there, the fact that you even typed that comment, you already know what you need to do. You don't need me to give you permission. You need to give yourself permission and move. And this whole thing was what? You're worried about the unknown. Give yourself permission to be like, I'm going to embrace the unknown and move forward. and then enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, document it. Don't tell me how you did it, document it along the way so then you can be able to help others. Go get it. Ashley, this is great saying. You bet. Ashley Ashner's Go. You're doing it. Your Go program. You're doing it. Steve, good to see you, Steve. Caleb Braddock, good old buddy from school. John, good to see you. You're not living until you're living by faith. Absolutely, right? So it's not a religious statement. I mean, I look at every biography of every great leader, and when you look back, you see, we always read the punchline, and we envy the punchline. Wow, I wish I could have the $1 billion. I wish I could do this or do that. But when you look at their story, you're going to realize you may have not walked in their shoes. You may have not wanted that. There's some unknowns along the journey that were really tough that we can't, it's not our journey. So that's why when you see someone and you see the punchline of their life, always remember there was a series of unknowns that got them there. It's not luck either. I think we think luck as luck is, there's no luck. I think the unknowns are part of it. Let me see right here. Sean, brother, I'm changing my vision and dreams and goals now. And people like you and Dan Pompa are the reason I never gave up. Thank you. Dan Pompa, great journey. Sick, guy, sick, mutilated, sick. That was an unknown that brought him from the ashes to the promised land. Shanna, this is awesome. We're about to embark on a new journey. It's scary sometimes. I know, I'm scary too. Because of all the unknowns, and we're so comfortable right now, we know what needs to be done. Again, Rocky 3, Mick told Rocky, the problem with you champions are that you get civilized. A lot of times when we are comfortable and we're civilized and we're quote unquote middle class or upper middle class, what happens is we're too comfortable, right? You got a roof over your head, you got clothes on your chest, you got food, right? You're not starving, you're not hungry, things are good. You're making a good living, things are good. And because of that conformity and complacency, we don't take that step forward. But if I bring you to someone who hasn't eaten in 3 days, they're broke, they're just trying to find pennies on the ground, they have so much drive and so much hunger, they'll do whatever it takes to get out of that situation. But we don't want to be there either. So we get stuck in that situation. So the unknowns, when you embark on this next goal, understand that go and do it. Enjoy the journey. Because what I was finding, I would rather go and do it. It got to the point in my life is I'd rather go for this journey, for this mission. I'd rather go for this new thing that God put in my life. I'd rather move forward with it. And I got to the point, and Whitney agreed because she saw like how I was distressed by it. I'm like, I'd rather lose. You could take everything away from me. So no matter how much invested, just take it all. But I would rather pursue something and have the sense of joy of doing what I'm being pulled to do than to stay complacent and grieving my potential and being depressed. And my wife will tell you, I'm working harder than ever now, grinding harder than ever, but she has her husband back. There's a part of me that's back. All right, George says, how do you figure out the calling you feel? I feel it. I'm just not sure what it is. How do you pull that out of the flood of thoughts and dreams that pop into your heart? Great question, George. So George is saying, listen, I feel the pull, but I don't know the clear mission statement, right? So I would definitely say go and write down your thoughts. You don't have to know the end goal, but just know what it is that you like to do. So George, what are you great at? What is that pull? What do you want to do? And start writing those things down. Write it on a page of paper and start moving forward. Just start moving forward. And along the journey, those unknowns will clarify. You'll meet people. You'll see people. And then it'll start to mold itself organically. See, we want the end goal. We want it all written out for us. I get it. Because if it's not 100% certain, then we don't want to take a risk, and fear keeps us back. So this is why I'm telling you guys, take one step forward. Just do something forward to do it. So it could be Facebook Lives. It could be writing a blog. It could be doing an email. It could be helping somebody with the gifts you have, but do something. And remember, the worst thing you could do is reverse engineer the monetization of it, meaning this. Don't think, well, I'm going to do this next thing that's going to make me a lot of money. So you start with money in mind and then you reverse engineer, you're going to lose. You're going to lose hard because what's going to happen, the reason why you'll lose is someone like me who doesn't have money in mind, just service and heart, is going to blow through you and outwork you and get more intention in it. So you can't reverse money at all, because if you start to do that, it's going to take the true heart and service and passion of your calling. But I will tell you, when you go on that journey, those opportunities will come with monetization and you'll be taken care of. Again, it's an unknown, but it's going to happen. Hope that helps, George. Patrick Williams, the unknown is killing me right now as we speak, but that changed as of today. Thanks, Doc. Awesome. Chasing my dream. So this is, see, you guys are feeling this, right? And you know why you're feeling this? Because I'm going through it with you. I'm sweating like crazy right now. Dean Peters, what would you recommend getting really clear and concise with this vision or goals? Any exercises? Journal. You got to journal, Dean, and it's the morning time. The morning time is where I got that. Well, my drive is I want to be a hero. Good. So how can I help other people with that? And you just move forward. So for me, it was doing the Facebook Lives, talking this through. Because of you guys and your questions, I have to think about this stuff. So the more you put energy into that area, you start getting those little thought flashes and insights. All right, Miss Marla, Lewis Fears, Fuel for Greatness. You bet. Ashley, amen to that. Ashley Good Whitney. There he goes. All right, Heather, our stories and journey and sharing is what gives one another about inspiration. The unknowns are really the best factors to get excited about. It took me a long time to figure that out, but it's true. All right, Dean Peters. All right, good. So, guys, we thank you so much. Again, remember, check out the trailer. It's on. You could go to Chris Zaino on Facebook or go to the @Dr. Zaino page on Facebook. I want you to see the trailer for We Are Heroes. Make sure you share it. You're part of the movement. We're doing this together. And then make sure you get on the Instagram. You know, follow me there. Follow me on Snapchat. I'm figuring that out. Twitter and Facebook. And I am committed 100%. And if I could just even show you, just, you know, if someone said, where do you find the time? I make the time. We have to make the time because it's so powerful. It's so personal that, remember, I said, like, I don't want to redo life over again. So if I was to live a life saying I don't want to have any redos, then I got to go huge. And the thing is, I couldn't go huge without the support of my wife and the support of my children, and the support of my families and the support of you guys. And that's why we're able to do this, because my wife's on board and she's really the Wizard of Oz behind me. And so you'll be seeing a lot more of her as well. So we thank you so much. Write your comments and questions. Please give me some questions and topics to talk about. I know this is a huge one today. How many people are living in fear because they're worried about the unknown, but they don't realize the unknown is guaranteed, and the unknown is where the genius is at. It's where everything is at. It's where the opportunity is at. I wouldn't be here today without the unknown. I wouldn't be in Texas. I wouldn't be on right here. You know, just the unknowns really have built our life to be the most greatest blessing in the world. And I really think in this, to close this out, I really think we fear the unknown, but I think the reason why we fear it is because God is in the unknown. Have an amazing day.